very versatile Jalen Lucas is back deep to receive. All right, here we go. Penn State and Indiana to start our day. Well, this one's going to go over the head of Lucas and out of the back of the end zone. So Indiana will take over offensively on first down. Off the play fake, quick toss to Lucas over his head, incomplete. They've got Turner in the backfield with Sorsby. They hand it off to him. He powers his way up to the 30-yard line. On third down and 5, Sorsby, quick toss, passes incomplete. His intended receiver is the old quarterback, Donovan McCulley, and he overthrew him. Had a little trouble with their punt team last week against the Scarlet Knights. And Evans gets this one off. And from the 17-yard line, Penn State will try to return it up to the 27-yard line. Trips down to the bottom of your screen. Here's Singleton, and Singleton up across the 30. Theo Johnson, the tight end, in motion. He's set on second down. They'll run it again. It'll be Singleton, who doesn't get much, maybe a yard. This is a little better on third down and 4.
You're going to see Cephas right here, too. Let's see if they go to him.
Lambert Smith was in motion. They pump once, now twice. They've got the tight end, Theo Johnson, and he's got a first down. It's a Penn State team that's played very well here at home. They've outscored the opposition 195-22. On first down for the 38-yard line. Allar to throw again. He'll roll the pocket underneath, pass play to Singleton. Big plays can happen on small passes or runs. Here comes the blitz for Indiana. Allar underneath, has Singleton. And that's his check down. So third down and 2. They've already converted 1. Katron Allen is in. In fact, there are 3 in the backfield. On third down, they hand it off quickly. It's Singleton, nothing there. And Jordan calls for the fair catch. You can go as a coach this week because you already have that costume from your flag football coaching. Josh Henderson in the backfield with Lucas. Lucas in motion. Second series for Sorsby. And whistle blows. This play is blown dead. We got a false start. They have forced 15 turnovers so far this year. That's tops in the Big Ten. They'll hand the ball off. It's snuffed out pretty quickly. No Vanover as well.
Jamel Lyons, a young kid, a freshman out there looking to step up.
Yeah, from Philadelphia and Roman Catholic High School. Quick pass to the outside to Carter. Game clock under 10 minutes to play, first quarter. He'll roll the pocket. Pressure's coming, pumps. He's going to keep it himself, and he's knocked out of bounds. James Evans, whistle blows. And another false start against Indiana. So Hardy moves up above the 45-yard line. And he just got that one. Well, this is a good punt. Wow. Hardy goes back. He's a receiver making the catch and now reverses field and is stopped at the 30-yard line. Well, it'll be first down for the 31-yard line. Allen on the sidelines as Singleton is in. 2 tight ends set. Theo Johnson in the backfield. He applies a huge block. And it gets Singleton up to the 36-yard line. The ball did come out and was recovered by Harrison Wallace.
On the football and punch it out.
So a short gain on second down. They go to Singleton again. Third down and 2. Manageable. Allar rolls the pocket, throws on the run. What a catch. Wow. Harrison Wallace. Nope, they're going to say he dropped it.
Jalen Lucas, usually their punt returner, had a month last week, and he hasn't been back there today.
Coaching staff said how hard Lucas works. He said he goes out and catches punts constantly. James Bamba in motion. The tight ends. Off the play fake, Sorsby steps up in the pocket, throws to the far sideline. He's got a man. Pass is complete. Carter. And Carter's along the sidelines, has one man to beat. And he high steps along the chalk. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indiana. And what a shocker, as you can see right there. Well, here's the point after Sorsby's longest touchdown pass of his young career. And for Carter, an outstanding transfer from Fordham coming through for Indiana.
That's him on that play.
Pretty amazing 90-yard touchdown pass, tied for the 3rd longest pass play in Indiana football history. And Singleton will let that go into the end zone. Yeah, we met with them yesterday, and they talked about how important a quick start was. Ty Warren, the tight end, lines up on the offensive line. Allar looking, pitching a couple times, throws to the middle, nearly intercepted. Allen checks into the ball game for the Nittany Lions. Four-man front for Indiana. They get it to Allen, running to his right, trying to follow his offensive lineman, and not much is there, just a couple yards. Indiana showing blitz. Allar takes the snap, pressure's coming. He doesn't realize it, now is taken down at the 20-yard line. It's already the third punt for Thompson. And he muffs it. It happened again. Ball is loose. Penn State's got it. Warren, the tight end, was in motion. And now Allar's going to change the play.
Will Penn State take a shot at the end zone coming off the turnover here?
Yeah, a lot of times this is when it happens. Instead, they hand the ball off. It's Allen. And Allen lost a yard. Allen in motion on second down and 11. Allar with an empty backfield, steps up. He can run. He bounces off a couple of defenders and then fights his way close to the first down. Aaron Casey missed him, and he doesn't miss many guys.
Miss on that one.
So third down and 1. They put everybody up to the tight to the line. A little wing T action. On fourth down, he follows Norzad. A flag comes in. And down to the 20-yard line, but we'll see who the penalty is against. It'll be first down inside the 20-yard line. Indiana showing blitz. And they'll give it off to Allen. And Allen just a few yards. Allar underneath. Pass is complete. Cephas. Well, they've got Lambert Smith in motion to the outside. And they are going to try to get their running back out of the backfield. It's Allen. He makes a man miss. He's inside the 10. Little pistol formation on fourth down. Off the play fake. Allar, he's got a man wide open in the end zone. Dinkins! Touchdown, Penn State! Well, so Khalil Dinkins, the sophomore from Wexford, Pennsylvania. Lucas is back to receive this kickoff. And this is a beauty by Osu. Oof. Trent Howland is in the game. He'll take the handoff for Indiana. And he plows forward up to the 29-yard line, gain of 4. The other part of it, too, it shows Carter, who is Division I AA star, and what he could do as Sorsby will keep it. Here's the option. And up to the 32. Sorsby, quick toss over through Lucas. He had him, too. He had him for a first down, at least 4 punts of 60 yards or more in each of the last 2 weeks. Hardy back deep to receive. This is another good one. Hardy from the 14. It looked like he was ready to call for a fair catch, but he's juking his way around inside Indiana territory. There is a flag down on the other end, though. And Hardy's going to walk in, but I think they're going to bring this one back.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team 31.
Singleton in the backfield. Lambert Smith in motion. Allar. They don't play it safe. He's going to go to the middle of the field. He's got his tight end. It's Warren, and Warren gets above the 25. Out toward the 30. That's the end of the first quarter. We're tied up at 7 here at Happy Valley. Allar begins the second quarter on first down for the 31. And Allar lets this one fly. He lets it loop. His pass is incomplete. Intended for Cephas. Little one-on-one coverage by Kobe Minor. Second down at 10. Two tight ends right side of the offensive line. Allar out of the backfield. Dumps it off. Singleton. Nothing there. So now third down and long. 3rd and 13. Allar. He checks it down. Not much is there. It was read perfectly.
But they don't pick up the first.
A high snap. It was handled. This is not going to be as good of a punt as before. Fair catch is called. Sorsby, quick toss. Oh, how about that? Wide open is McCulley, and McCulley has one man to beat. Can it be a second big play? It is! Touchdown Hoosiers! How does that happen? So they've had a 90-yard touchdown pass and now a 69-yard touchdown pass. The point after is good.
Winston, is it Dixon? Who's supposed to be there in that coverage?
Well, Penn State will get the football. They'll get a chance to return this one. It's Singleton. And Singleton is able to break free. Singleton is tripped up right at midfield. All right, so the kick return brings Penn State up to midfield. It's Allen who's spelling Singleton. They hand it off. Allen tripped up. The far side line read first down on that second one, but they've gotten it right now. Allar on third down. Allar to the sideline. Pass is complete. He's got Lambert Smith. We'll say that he was a hybrid in the NFL. Here comes Allen, and Allen makes a few men miss and then drags the defense inside the 25. This week it's the same story, but they've got those two big plays. They'll take it this week. Allar, nothing's open downfield. He thought about dumping it off. Here comes a flag. Allar, oh, what a move. Out of bounds. He's got the first down, but I believe there's a hold. Andre Carter, the old head, as they call him, may have been held in the backfield.
Old head.
Holding. Offense, number 56.
Second down, 11 from the 34. Allar from the gun. Pressure's coming. He doesn't realize it. Now he steps away. More pressure's coming. He's going the wrong way, and he just dumps it off. Well, Bleedy, who's been in the backfield a lot, was trying to chase him down.
Allar using his legs a lot today, and that's not in a good way. He's using his legs because he's standing in a pocket and nobody's there. And look at this Indiana defense. They came fired up, ready to play. Look at it again. You have Cephas, you have Warren. Where's he going to go with this ball? I know we keep saying, Allar, throw it, throw it. These guys are not creating enough separation for him to feel comfortable to let the ball go.
And now facing a third down. Penn State 2 of 8 on third down. Here comes the pressure again toward the end zone, and it's dropped. Lambert Smith stepped back and had position, couldn't hang on.
Allar giving one of his best receivers a chance deep down the field in Lambert Smith, and he throws it up to where he can catch it because Indiana's coming with pressure. It's one-on-one down the field, and this is those one-on-one drills. Ball hits him square in his hands. That's one that Lambert Smith knows that he has to come down with. That's a good decision by Allar of letting the ball go. Lets it slip through his hand. Another third down where they're not able to convert.
Well, here's Felkins. He was booting it from this distance in practice. This is 51 yards. Good snap, good hold. The transfer from Columbia has enough leg, and it is no good. He had it all going, didn't he?
He sure did, with the big jersey and the big shoulder pads.
2011 IU Athletics Hall of Fame member. He's got to be proud of Sorsby today. That's Henderson, who stumbles forward and gets up to the 39. Play clock down to 5. Sorsby rolls the pocket. He's got a blocker. Pass is complete to the outside. It's Carter again. And Carter went out of bounds right at midfield.
To go man-to-man and lock you up, but that also creates opportunities for the offense when it's all man.
Well, that's his first 100-yard game for Indiana. He certainly had them. Matty Diaz's team is trying to find a formula to slow down. That's Lucas in motion. They shovel it to him. He's got a one-on-one opportunity, nothing there. Read beautifully by Jalen Reed. You got to spy Lucas. They're down at 14. They need to get to the 40 of Penn State. Sorsby lofts it. Pass complete. Shy of the first down, but he did get some chunk yardage.
Hey, we're not just here to play a good game. We're here to actually go out and win it.
Oh, bad snap. Can't have that happen. Sorsby picks it up, throws it underneath. He's got Howland trying to make a man miss, dives forward, and he's close. So Penn State takes over first down, just outside the 40, Singleton. And he's tripped up on second down. Singleton again. And Singleton moves the pile close to the first down. Two tight ends on the left side of the offensive line. Allar's got 4 on the play clock. And he's just going to hand it off again. Singleton again. 5 yards to go. Blitz coming from Indiana. Now they pull back. And here it comes. Allar throws, and his tight end was not out of the break. 5-man front for the Hoosiers. Bottom of your screen, they're showing blitz. They pull back. Allar He's going to try to outrun the defensive line. He throws it to the middle. Pass is complete to Singleton. Just got open in the secondary to the 31-yard line.
Getting open for his quarterback.
Gain of 28 yards to the 31. And Singleton again, trying to find daylight, lowers his shoulder. No, they give it off to Allen. And Allen subbing for Singleton down to the 24. Yeah, 3 for their last 25 on third down. Allar looking for a receiver, looking toward the end zone. His receiver fell down, flags come in. Singleton in the backfield. Allar gives it to him. Singleton to his right, down to the 5. On second and goal, Allar on the slant. Pass is complete, short of the first down, short of the goal line. It's that formation you talked about before. On third and goal from the 2. Singleton following his blockers. He's banging toward the goal line. Did he get in? Nothing signaled yet. And he's just going to be shy of the goal line by about a half a yard.
It's a really good job by this.
Oh, he's in. Touchdown, Penn State. Falcons is 30 for 30 on extra points this year. He's got a great streak going back to even last year at Columbia, and that one's right down the middle. They've had a mix of Henderson, Lucas, Howlands. They get to the tight end, who's got a block. Out along the numbers, it's Archer. 7 of 10, 196. Pressure's coming. He can run it, and he slides. 2 receivers at the top, 1 to the bottom. Blitz is coming from Penn State. Sorsby sees it. He's going to try to break free and dives forward. See the target line, unofficial, of course. Sorsby's being trailed. He throws back across his body. It's intercepted by Reed. Reed makes a man miss. Now another. And he's inside Indiana territory. Allar handles the low snap. Quick toss to the outside. He's got Lambert Smith. And let's see if Penn State can capitalize on the second Indiana turnover. They give it off to Allen. And Allen breaking a tackle, still on his feet. And Allar, pressure's coming, gets rid of it. Wide open on the near sideline is Lambert Smith. He's got a first down and plenty more. 36 seconds left to play, first half. 2 timeouts left for Penn State. Allar on first down, pumps, and now, oh, he breaks away. He was sacked, and now he's going to keep it himself, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 18. Second down and 4.
Wise beyond my years, Tom.
That's exactly right. Here's Allar again. Singleton's covered on the outside. He throws it up for grabs. He just overthrows him. Allar takes a look over to the sidelines. Indiana looks like they're showing some blitz. Now they pull it back. Allar's under pressure. Gets away from one, just throws it away. Middle of the field, good snap, good hold. Kick is on its way. It's got enough, and it is good. Right through the middle. And as time expires, Penn State will score its 10th point off a turnover. Now that's why they have the lead, and they'll get the football. Little pooch kick and a fair catch called by Tyler Warren. Let's check in with Tiffany.
Hey guys, for Penn State, Coach James Franklin reiterated to me what he told us this week, and that's that they've got to be better on first and second down, more efficient.
Katron Allen is the back in the backfield. In fact, we got a little offset I formation behind Allar. It's the first time we've seen this formation. And they give it to Allen. Boy, that block freed him up a little bit. He almost broke that one. And don't forget, last week, that was a point of emphasis for Indiana. Their tackling was terrible against Rutgers. On second down, they give it to Allen again. He breaks one tackle, jukes his way to his left and up to the 41. 1 minute into the second half. Quick toss to the outside. It's Lambert Smith, and he's out of bounds. And for Allar, he's up over 300 pass attempts without an interception. He sets up in the pocket. He's looking long. He's looking toward the end zone, and he overthrows his intended receiver, McClain. 4 of 12 on third downs. Better than last week when they were 1 of 16. And they're going to run it. Allen spins. He's got the first down. 4-man front defensively. On first down, they run it again. Allen again. And Allen just lowers his shoulder. Well, so far a good drive. It began on the Penn State 25. And down close to the 36 of Indiana. Singleton in. Warren, the tight end, in motion. One of the 2 tight ends. Allar looking that way, and he's got him. Warren was basically isolated at the top, and Minor in on the coverage.
Nice simple throw on the outside. Brings up a 3rd and 1 on this situation. Are we going to see the try-backs that we've seen in this 3rd and short situation where they go either QB sneak or handing it off to Allen or Singleton?
Yeah, that play could be open all day, that one right there. Little wing T formation, quarterback keeper. He's got the first down to the 30-yard line.
This is how Penn State offense wants to play football. You're efficient on 1st and 2nd down. A run and then a quick pass on the outside brings up 3rd and 1. For them, they feel really comfortable, and that's any team in the country. A 3rd and 1, we feel great about that. But that 3rd and 1 all happens because of 1st and 2nd down.
A little form of the tush push there to get that first down. You have to come up with a nifty name, though, for Penn State. On first down from just inside the 31. Allen again. And Allen spins away from a tackler. Gets a couple more yards. Almost 3 on that one.
Trying to wear him down up front, but this Indiana defensive line, they've come to play. We've seen a few good runs by Allen and Singleton, but for the most part, they've done a really good job of bottling them up and making it tough on those guys. They've had to break 1 or 2 tackles at that 2nd level to be able to pick up a good amount of yards.
So this drive, 5 carries, 35 yards. It's been Allen with Singleton in 1 time. 2nd down and 8, almost 5 minutes off the clock to open up the 2nd half. Allar, a little bit of trouble, breaks away. He has a blocker, and he's able to get inside the 20-yard line of first down. Been a little bit better even on this drive. This will be the 11th play of the drive, 7 rushes so far.
Another empty set spreads the defense out. Allar should know right away where he wants to go.
He waggles the pocket, lofts it toward the end zone for his tight end. Caught! Touchdown, Theo Johnson. It's a tight end game today for the Nittany Lions.
Doesn't have his eyes around. Way to high point the ball and come away with it. That is a good connection between those two.
And now the point after is good. This kickoff will go out of the back of the end zone. Wide to the left. So let's check in with Tiffany.
Hey guys, that Theo Johnson and Drew Allar connection is one that's really strong.
That they have the leadership on this team to pick him up.
Well, here's Sorsby. Let's see if he can answer. He hands the ball off to Howland, and Howland gets to the edge. Yeah, 2 big plays too. They go to Howland again, and the big back lowers his shoulder. That's got to hurt a little bit, doesn't it? And I know I can run through people, but I do want to have a little finesse. But I don't think you need finesse when you can do that up to the 44. Lucas in motion. They have not gotten him involved today. He's open, but they don't see him. They'll throw to the near side. First down, they run it again. Nope, they're going to fake the handoff, and Sorsby's going to run it. Little quarterback keep, and Indiana rushed for 24 yards in the first half. They have 24 on this drive, and Howland brings the defender down for a yard. They're 0 for 4 today on 3rd down conversions. They need one here, and Lucas can't hang on. He threw it behind him, but it was a catchable ball. Kalen King with the extra hit. 4 receivers at the top of your screen. Here comes the pressure. Sorsby steps up. He's going to run for it. He's got the first down. A little awkward slide. Howland's been a workhorse. He'll continue again. Folks from the flyover watching this one. Sorsby hit as he throws. Pass is caught after being juggled. Cooper hangs on. It's a catch down to the 16. First trip to the red zone for Indiana. Howland's pinballs to the 15, just 1 yard. Each team's had 1 possession in the 2nd half. Sorsby, he'll run. Oh man, did he take a hit down close to the 10-yard line. Here comes the blitz by Penn State. They bring everybody up. They pick up Lucas, and Sorsby is down. 37-yard field goal attempt. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on its way, and it is no good. I know Ross Tucker's watching somewhere, and he's not happy about it. That he's not having some. On first down, it's a gain of 1.
He's been able to create a few times today.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Penn State last 3 possessions, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Singleton had it. So was Theo Johnson. Allar has the ball deflected and nearly intercepted. All right, so Penn State will punt it away. Lucas is back to receive. Lucas, he wants some action. He hasn't had much today, but he's going the wrong way if you're Indiana. And he slips back to the 20-yard line. You and Tiffany and Bill Thayer and Andy Friedman, our whole crew have been unbelievable this week. As Indiana will run the football to start this first down. It's Josh Henderson who gets the touch. Elsdon makes the tackle.
Tom, he's a McCarthy. We would expect nothing less as Indiana trying to get the ground game going to try to open some things up. Going a little bit of tempo here, too.
Okay, Indiana down by 10. Here comes the pressure. Sorsby, oh, he's like a juggler getting out of the way of everybody coming at him. Gain of 2.
It hasn't resulted in points this half, but Sorsby has done a really good job evading rushers and trying to get something going. You see all of those pump fakes. Now it's 3rd down. You can't just scramble every 3rd down. Here's an opportunity that they're going to have to try to get the ball on the outside. And I know I sound like a broken record, but at some point they have to find a way to get the ball in Lucas's hands.
Yeah, they're 0 for right now. 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. Some have been close, others have been lengthy. Quick toss, pass is complete. They converted the first one. McCauley, who's made some big catches today. They've really tried that play a few times. And that may wind us down the end of the 3rd quarter. All right, here we go. First down for the 33 for Indiana. Sorsby, their quarterback, 10 of 15, 232. Whistle blows, and this play blown dead. It's a false start, which we haven't seen since the 1st quarter for Indiana. Carter Smith, the left tackle, called for the penalty.
Just a little antsy in his stance right there. Puts him behind the stick somewhere that they don't want to be. After the last 3rd down conversion, I would like them to see him 1st down. All right, 1st and 15. Go play action early on. You've been running, howling. Go play action and see if you can open the offense up.
It's 1st and 15. Pressure's coming. Sorsby's hit, and he's dropped. Johnny Dixon. It didn't work earlier. They beat him on a long pass, but it worked right there.
It did work, and Manny Diaz continues to bring pressure from all over the field. Johnny Dixon right there looks like he's just playing man-to-man, and then on the snap, he comes with the blitz, and they roll zone behind it. Sorsby sees it, has nowhere to go, and Johnny Dixon is able to come away with the sack. A really good call by Diaz, sending that pressure from all over.
As a back, did you like that when you you would go in and surprise him like that?
Only when there was nobody there to block me.
Right.
Come free, I like blitzing.
On 2nd down, they hand the ball off. It's Henderson, and Henderson gets to the 40. He got a huge chunk right there. Let's check in with Tiffany.
Guys, you remember what Manny Diaz was telling us. He said having DBs that like to tackle helps with the game plan, but he jokingly added, it also helps with my health and my family's well-being. In all seriousness, he said defenses that have DBs that tackle, they're good.
There's no doubt. It opens up so much from a defensive standpoint. Now you got a 3rd down, 3rd and 3 for Indiana. Sorsby, pocket collapsed pretty quickly. Pass complete. Really good catch. Excellent throw. E.J. Williams, the senior, and the transfer from Clemson.
A really good play right there by Sorsby and E.J. Williams. Kalen King has Williams covered on the initial route. He feels Sorsby coming back to him, and he uncovers and breaks to the outside. Those are the drills between receiver and quarterback that you always practice. Hey, when I break the pocket, I'm scrambling. I need you to go this way or that way. That's stuff that you talk about going into a game, and it got them a conversion.
1st down just outside the 45. They'll hand the ball off. Quick run play right up the middle. Fisher was there to meet it. Now the pile is pushed forward. Josh Henderson, he got almost 4, but he should have had 2.
A lot of credit to the offensive line. He's wrapped up, and you see the big guys coming, and they just start moving and pushing the pile. Those are those scrum-type plays where that's kind of what we call hidden yardage, what should have been a 2-yard gain becomes now a 4-yard gain.
2nd down at 6. That offensive line, they've got some season on them. Coley came in motion. Sorsby bumps into his offensive line. He's trying to direct traffic, and he overthrows his intended receiver, which is probably the best thing he could do because there was nothing open.
Jacobs was barreling down on him, and we've seen Sorsby being able to scramble and move around the pocket. They had somebody dedicated to him right there, and he wasn't able to get anything. Another third down. We got to see what they're willing to come with. As you see the difference, the first half, they had those big plays. You see that, that's the 10.5. And now in the second half, you take the big plays out of it. This Penn State defense has performed once they've settled down.
2 of 8 on third downs. They hand the ball off. How about that? Henderson's able to get the first down and more to the 40-yard line. Curtis Jacobs makes the tackle. How much is Penn State missing Chop Robinson today?
Well, when you have one of your best players not in the game, it goes a long way. And Penn State is a team that has really good depth at every probably position on the defense, but still, that type of talent, you miss it when it's not out there.
Yeah, gain of 11 for Indiana to the 40-yard line. They'll hand it again to Henderson, and Henderson's got some daylight. And he's down to the 33. Jalen Reed makes the tackle for the Nittany Lions.
Henderson and Howland this half, especially these last 2 drives, they've been able to put their shoulder pads down and pick up some good yardage. We've noticed throughout this game, when they have a positive first and second down play on the ground, it puts them in great positions and they're picking up those third downs.
Yeah, they're nearly 70 yards on the ground in this half. Sorsby will keep it himself. He wants a blocker, lowers his shoulder, and he's got the first down before he's shoved out of bounds. Johnny Dixon was the one who hit him, but they were able to get some more yards, and Dixon's going to walk off. He may have hurt himself on that hit.
Yeah, he was grabbing his shoulder after the play, after he goes to make the tackle. Sorsby right there, a little bit of an angry run as he's going there, lowers his shoulder as a quarterback and is able to run through it. Hope Johnny Dixon's shoulder's okay after that one, though.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you promoting things for Kyle Brandt now? Is that what you're doing?
I'm so used to hearing it time after time. I know exactly what an angry run is when I see it.
First down for the 26. They bring Howland back in. Off the play fake to him, middle of the field. Pass is complete. One man misses. Cooper toward the end zone. Touchdown, Indiana. What a move to get free at the 5-yard line. Daquan Hardy had a chance. And Omar Cooper made a miss. Wow.
It's been these Indiana wide receivers, and it is dead silent here at Beaver Stadium after that. You saw Johnny Dixon goes down with the injury. Daquan Hardy now bumps to the outside where he's used to being at that nickel spot. And Sorsby, you're seeing holding his shoulder after that play, after that good completion. We got to see if he's going to be okay.
It's his first career 3-touchdown game. Here's the point after. It's a big one. It's good. Another little pooch kick and another fair catch called. First down for Penn State. Katron Allar is in the backfield. Allar will give it to him. Not much to his right. Now he's going to his left. Allar thought about a block. He's just taking up space. Gain of 5. Tiffany, what do you see with Sorsby?
Yeah, I was watching him take some throws on the sideline, and while he was doing that, he was kind of grimacing a lot. Then he walked over and talked with a member of the athletic training staff, and he was demonstrating how when the arm is fully extended, that right arm after a throw, it appears that he might be in some more pain with that. He's in the tent now. I'll try to keep you guys updated.
How did he make that pass, though, after that hit? That's so the thing.
Impressive, so impressive. Such a tough kid, the way he plays the game.
Second down and 5. We'll bring the tight end, Theo Johnson, into the backfield. They'll hand it off again to Allen. And Allen, he's got the first down. Boy, he was like a snake on that. Just slithered right through Lewis Moore. Cox and Carter there to make the tackle.
He's so good at that, and we've seen a lot more of Katron Allen this half opposed to Nick Singleton. And to your point where you see he gets the ball and it doesn't look like there's much space up there, and somehow he's able to get skinny and get through those small gaps and pick up yards.
So first down up to the 38-yard line. Little extra go there. And Allen again, he's met right at the line of scrimmage and thrown back. Oof. Anthony Jones. Casey was there too. We loved talking to Casey a couple days ago. I mean, just a fantastic kid. He's wearing number 44. First black man drafted in the NFL. So they pick one guy that wears his number 44 each year. And obviously Casey's the first one to do that. And there's a sack for Indiana and Nick Toomer. But I think it's great to even embrace the heritage of a school athletic program like that.
Oh, it's amazing. We saw Casey presenting 2 jerseys to George Telfaro's 2 daughters after practice. It's just such a good scene, and it means so much to these kids when you know who he is and what he represents. You're able to tell the history of your school, and they're able to represent it and wear it proudly.
All right, so we got a 3rd down and 12 here. Penn State up by a field goal. Pressure's coming. Allar to the middle of the field. Pass is complete, but shy of the first down. And that was a nasty fall by Cephas down to the ground. He's up okay as Jamari Sharp makes the tackle. So Sorsby's out of the 10, but we got decision time right now for Penn State on 4th down and 2.
I don't think there's a decision. I think you punt this ball. You're on your side of the 50. You don't take a chance. With Indiana only down 3 after just putting a touchdown drive together. Had a good completion on 3rd down, but that's one of those things where if we're running routes on 3rd down, we have to run them and be in front of the sticks. It means nothing to catch the ball and be short of the sticks right there by Cephas.
All right, Penn State will punt this one away. If you're Lucas, you let it go over your head. It goes into the end zone. Well, that's fortunate because it didn't take a Penn State bounce. So 2 long drives this half. They could probably use another long drive here, but get some points. They'll hand the ball off. And the workhorse has been Trent Howland in the second half. He gets a couple up to the 23.
And as you mentioned, the long drives, remember, they missed a field goal early on.
Both teams have.
Yes, in this half. So those things come up big with those little plays that when you're looking back, they're only down 3 points right here.
Can use plenty of this clock. Bamba, the tight end, in motion. Sorsby rolling the pocket. That's a good catch. Back across the body, McCulley. He's shy of the first down, so they're going to face a 3rd and 2.
And you wanted to see Sorsby make his first throw, and here he is on the run, and the ball's a little bit behind, but McCulley's able to reach back and grab it. All right, the last 3rd down, Tom, Penn State, they like to bring a lot of pressure, and they put smaller guys out there on the field sometimes, and Indiana was able to run on 3rd down and pick up the first down. Here it is right now. You look at this Penn State, they have DeLuca, they have all of their linebackers in there, Kobe King.
Now they're going to hand it off. Howland, he didn't get there. Howland stopped shy of the 30. The ball was loose for a moment. Penn State's saying they have it. Now the officials are going in. A couple things here. The spot's important, and whether Indiana comes out with it. It's going to be 4th down. Hardy back deep to receive for Penn State. Evans has had some good punts today. This backpedals Hardy to the 12, and he called for a fair catch. Singleton in the backfield. Off the fake to him. Pressure's coming. He just throws it away. Boy, that pressure was coming fast. Linnell Carr, the former Bandit at West Virginia.
Indiana has everybody up in the box. All 8 of the defenders, they're playing with 1 safety back and everybody matched up on the outside. They've attacked all game long as Linnell Carr is getting in his face, not allowing Allar to have any time to see anything. That type of attacking towards the line of scrimmage helps stop the run and also get pressure on the quarterback.
Allar today 18 of 28, 142 yards. It's 2nd down and 10. They hand it off to Singleton, running left. Not much is there. And you wonder how much has Indiana taken from Ohio State, different athletes, of course, Ohio State, into this game defensively against Penn State.
Such a great point because, yes, you may not have the same athlete, but that's what good coaching is. Because if you're devising a game plan, you want to see what works against the other team. And as they got a chance to watch that Ohio State game, they saw them stopping the run. But more importantly, they saw them putting pressure on Drew Allar, and they saw their pressure menu and what they were able to do. And now we have Penn State backed up, 3rd down. Right here, Allar has to be smart with the ball. You want to get the conversion, but you don't want to make a mistake backed up. 5
more conversions today, same amount of opportunities. Allar, pressure's coming, dancing in the pocket, throws as he's caught. It's intercepted at the 27-yard line. Indiana will have it back. Josh Sanguinetti picked it off, playing a little center field. It's the first ever interception for Drew Allar after over 300 attempts. Both teams with 3 timeouts left, 5:02 to play. They hand the ball off to Henderson. And Henderson just got a couple yards down to the 19-yard line. Sorsby hands the ball off again. Henderson trying to get to the edge. Not much is there. And he squirms forward. Johnny Dixon makes the tackle. A gain of 1. It'll be 3rd and long.
Okay, for Indiana, right now, you're in field goal position, and we've seen them kind of be safe on this drive, handing the ball off on 2 straight downs. You're looking at it. Yes, we want to pick up the 3rd down, but the same thing I said for Drew Allar, it goes for Brendan Sorsby as well. You have points on the board. The last thing and the worst thing you can do is a turnover in this situation when you have a chance to potentially tie this game up.
Going into the student section, they do hand the ball off to Henderson. Very conservative, so they get a couple more yards down to the 17. Again, both teams missed a field goal in today's ball game. Here is the miss for Indiana earlier.
Right here, lined up, really in their range, and just pushes it wide right and is not able to convert that one right there. But Indiana playing it safe. And I'm wondering if Tom Allen is thinking, all right, Drew Allar just threw his first interception of his career. Let's tie this ball game up, put the pressure back on him, and see how he responds.
Missed a 37-yarder. This will be a 35-yarder. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on its way. This one is right through the uprights. And we are tied up at 24 with 2:58 to play here in the 4th quarter.
The Grand Merritt's is catching fire right now, so
yes, he is.
They're going to have a tough one on their hands as well.
Another pooch kick. No fair catch called this time. Ooh, little bag of tricks, and now a flag comes in. I figured he would call for a fair catch because he's called for a fair catch every single time. That was Ty Warren.
I think they're going to get McClain on a hold, trying to block and open it up for Warren. We'll see.
Got an injured Nittany Lion on the field, too. It's Theo Johnson. They're starting tight ends. All right, so the officials are trying to peel this one back.
During the return, holding number 11. 10-yard penalties at the end of the run. 1st and 10.
2 touchdowns, his first ever collegiate INT. Happened on the last drive. Pressure's coming. Allar steps up. Passes underneath to Allen, who's running back, and Allen keeps his feet moving. He's got a 1st down, a gain of 11. Lewis Moore made the tackle. Magnum Farrar missed the tackle.
Just a check down, but what I like about that is they went right back to Allar and threw the ball on the first play, coming off an interception.
They hand the ball off. Allen again. Allen, he's not large in height, but man, is he strong. He just carried Moore for another 1st down.
He's done a really good job this 2nd half. They've leaned on him heavily. As you see the Penn State lineman, J.B. Nelson, opening up a hole for him to get through there. And it's not till Moore, till he's 8 yards down the field, makes the first contact with Katron Allen on that one.
On 1st down, ball is up to the 42-yard line. Under 2 minutes to play, 3 timeouts for both. Here comes the blitz. Allar, he's looking long to the far side of the field. A flag is in. Pass is caught. Lambert Smith into the end zone.
Called out a slot fade, gets to the sideline and makes the play.
And now the point after. It's good. So they'll get the football back here. Not much has been able to be returned today because Osu is so good, and he's going to make a souvenir out of the cheerleading crew. Penn State showing blitz. They're bringing the pressure right away. Sorsby's hit from behind. He lost the football. It's picked up by Penn State, then fumbled again. It's into the end zone. There's a pile out of the back of the end zone. Denied. Dennis Sutton knocked the ball loose. It's a safety. After Indiana breaks, now Penn State breaks.
Penn State has their hands team on the field right now.
Little onside kick. Takes a big bounce. And Warren's able to come down with it. He went high in the air and pulled it out of the air. And now Penn State with 1:33 to play. Indiana has 2 timeouts. They can run the time off this clock with a 9-point lead.
And you know that's what they're going to try to do. And this is a really good play by Tyler Warren.
Very good, yeah.
Sometimes these plays, they don't get as much credit as they deserve. He goes up and snags that and takes a hit on the other side of it, and you love to see that. Gets right up, points in the direction, we got the ball, taking pride in being on that hands team, knowing you're about to get hit.
Allar this game 20 of 31, 210 yards. Allen 81 yards on the ground. It's Singleton who's in the backfield to start. On first down from the 34. Singleton moves the pile down to the 33, and a timeout called by Indiana.
I would say that. What a change of events. We watched the catch by Omar Cooper Jr. from Sorsby for Indiana.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a ball game. Penn State responded right away with a touchdown drive and a safety off a sack fumble.
All right, so they're going to change quarterbacks because they're going to bring in their runner at quarterback. It's Privola, and he'll just keep it and roll down to the 31. He's an excellent runner, and that's what their thought process was there. Not that Allar can't handle himself, but that's basically what he does. Penn State did not get the yards they would have liked on those first couple of plays, but now Singleton will seal the game to the 23-yard line. A first down as the sun comes out here at Happy Valley.
What a luxury. We've watched Katron Allen this entire second half be the guy in the backfield, enter Nick Singleton to finish it off, drive his feet, him and that offensive line who have really stepped up in the second half.
And one of the first guys to meet him when he came back to the huddle was Allen. Gave him a high five as they now go into victory formation. It's a little different victory formation than most are used to. Allar's back in. And on first down, he takes a few steps back, takes a knee to the 30-yard line. 35 seconds and counting to play. That's going to do it. I guess you could say that Penn State has survived against Indiana.
They have survived. They needed to get this win for other things to fall in place to finish out this season. James Franklin said, we need to win this game, but we need to improve. I'm interested after they go in and they watch the film. What do they say about what they put on film today? Is it the improvement they needed as they move forward in their season? They get ready for Maryland and then the big one against Michigan.